Wait. Ooh, wait.
Fred Hampton was shot and killed last night.
Your life is fuck you to your father, right?
Yes.
And you can see how that's different from a rope on the tree. He was shot in the shoulder first. You can't aim a gun if you've been shot in the shoulder. Second shot was in his head. Anything else?
I'm sorry. Since how long he is in jail? 89! Oh.
Premeditated murder! Fred Hampton was assassinated last night!
I strongly caution.
Strongly fuck y'all!
No, shh.
Marshals, take that defendant into a room and deal with him as he should be dealt with.
What? What does it mean, please? All of you, you know what is happening right now? Don't stop. It's not what I think what they're gonna do. It's not what I think.
I ask you again, Mr. C, and you may indicate by raising your head up and up if I have your assurance that you will not do anything to disrupt this trial if I allow you to resume proper order. You want me to give him his history?
Of course, as you do. Black guy. You made him a sympathetic character.
And you're the first person ever to suggest that I have discriminated against a black man.
Really? Really? That's the first time that someone told you that?
I'm issuing an order declaring a mistrial as to the defendant, body GC. All rise.
You're not rising. That wasn't a bit what he just did right there.
I read in the paper you were the only one who stood for the judge after what he did to Bobby.
That was a mistake. It was just a reflex.
They don't think so. I mean, that lady, she's supposed to represent people outside.
Ramsey Clark.
Yeah, Ramsey Clark.
These men are going to call Schultz and Ferran
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we're done here.
Don't be ridiculous. They already called Schultz and Ferran.
Mr. Clark, while you were the Attorney General for President Johnson, was there ever any discussion with the White House about seeking indictments against my client?
It's against the law. That's an overly broad interpretation of the law.
Well, again, with due respect, sir, my clients take a much bigger risk when they stand against an enormous power.
What took you so long, you said?
To realize I'm your star witness.
Oh!
He can't testify.
I'm in private practice now. If John Mitchell wants to cut me in half, he can. And he will.
Sir, you have to find some courage now.
Finish the sentence.
That's what those two men came to tell me. If John Mitchell wants to cut me in half, he can, and he will. I learned them in the room. I said,
I don't care.
when do you want me in court?
Oh!
Sounds fine. If I find any of the testimony relevant, I'll call the jury back into here.
Defense calls Ramsey Clark.
You're freaking insane.
An investigation by our criminal division led to the conclusion that the riots were started by the Chicago Police Department.
But the jury didn't hear that.
They concluded that there was no conspiracy by the defendants to incite violence during the convention.
You're not going to let the jury hear his testimony.
Not unless you can demonstrate to me, which you have not thus far done, that the
People outside are gonna know by newspapers and all, but not the jury.
Did one of the defendants speak? I did. I said, you're a thug because you are.
It's a Boy Scout guy.
If we're guilty, why not give us a trial? I mean, I have sat here for 6 months and watched you. You don't need to grab my arm. I've watched you.
Oh no, no, oh no, not true. I mean, he's a calm guy. No, I can't say.
They really did just get this.
What's on the tape?
The sound of you starting the Chicago riot.
What?
You saw at least 6 policemen start to go after the man. Sorry, the kid who was climbing the flagpole.
Yes.
It was dark, we were 100 yards away.
Leave the kid alone! Hey, Jesus, what the hell is wrong with...
Ray was just trying to get the police off of the kid.
He was grabbing them
No? Yeah.
Out of nowhere. It was 6 armed police officers versus Rennie Davis and a pocket detective, so I can understand that response.
How about your response?
It's just being ready, Dave.
Listen to me. We can still get everyone out of here safely. Tell them to stay calm.
No. But Rennie Davis has just been beaten by the police.
Did you tell your crowd to stay calm, or did you say...
Yes, absolutely. If blood is going to flow,
Let it flow all over the city! The kid
Ooh, bad, 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 bad.
We're going to the convention! Get on the streets! Get on the streets!
Well, you didn't try and stop anyone. No. And those people, the ones you sent to the foot bridges, did they know what was waiting for them on the other side?
What?
You, Abby, Jerry, and 11 others found the only way to the convention.
or we got trapped.
What's another word for trap? Caught, right?
And we see a cop do something you don't ever want to see a cop do.
Hiding their names to not be recognized.
Were you resisting arrest?
They pushed us through the window.
Who started the riot, Tom?
He encouraged it, but you can say that
What?
the action of the police did it.
Our blood. If our blood is gonna flow. You didn't mean the cops. You were saying, if they're gonna beat us up, then everyone should see it.
Abby, you know why you're on trial here?
We carried certain ideas across state lines. After that, we were gassed, beaten, arrested, and put on trial.
Did you hear Mr. Hayden give an instruction to his people to take to the streets?
His people. Hayden's not a mafia don, and neither am I. I think Tom Hayden is a badass of an American patriot.
Let's say you hoped for a confrontation with the police, that your plans for the convention were designed specifically to draw the police into a confrontation.
When the time came, you know, during that moment in front of the police station, he was against it. It's insane.
You are the one defendant who has shown during this trial respect for this court and for this country. I'd like you to make your statement brief and without political content of any kind. If you make your statement
You
brief,
shouldn't have said that.
I will look favorably upon that when administering my sentence.
Your Honor, since this trial began, 4,752 U.S. troops have been killed in Vietnam, and the following are their names. Private First Class Dennis Walter King, 18 years old. Lance Corporal Robert Earl Ellis, 19 years old.
Mr. Gunson,
Lance Corporal Anthony Michael
not
Steen,
read
20
5,000
Specialist Fourth Class Edward B. Crane, 21 years old.
No, I'm not crying. Shut up. Just
Lee Ever Marquette, Specialist on. Specialist.
did they make an appeal? You think? Still this book. I'm a little divided about the movie. About the story on itself, I can't judge it, you know, it was how it happened, you know, it was the facts, it was the story. I'm no one to judge that, so I'm not gonna talk a lot about it during this review. I already said my opinion during the reaction part, you know, I already told you what I thought about this person's side or this person's side and what I would have done, you know, what I would have said into this situation, so I'm not gonna come back to that. I'm divided about the movie itself because I didn't expect it to be built like that. It was really about the trial, which is logical if you think about the title of the movie itself. And in fact, they showed all of the manifestations, all of the riots, all of the stuff during the trial, during some particular moments of the trial. But we had just some moments of it, and it was short ones, and it was really about the trial, really about the judge who was acting like that, about all of the defendants, how they were reacting. I didn't expect it to be built like that. You know, for a story like that, okay, you can make it about the trial, but I would have expected more moments with the riots, with what happened during the riots and all. Like, I think that right there it's not even 20% of the movie or something like that. At least it feels like that. And for something which is so important for the story, for the conclusion of the story, I think that it would have been great to have more scenes with these riots. But at the same time, they are saying that this trial was a political trial, and they are saying it a lot of times, and maybe that's why at the end we have this 20% of the riots, and all of the rest it's a lot of political discussions, in fact, about who is doing what, for what reasons, and stuff like that. Like all of that first scene with Schultz being hired, you know, to make that job, it was a political situation. So maybe it's because of that that in fact we don't have a lot of pictures from the riots, because it was a political trial, and by not putting images of the riots, the writers and the filmmaker is insisting on that. Maybe it can be justified, but for me and for what I expected from that movie, it disturbed me a little during the movie. And also, what I can expect for a movie like that, talking about a story like that, I wanted to see the appeal, you know, I wanted to see the rest, the real conclusion. Right there, you are, you know, summarizing that with some lines on the screen. It's not enough for me. Like, I want to see all of the story, not only this trial. I know again, this movie, it's the trial, not the trials. But do you understand what I mean? Like, for me, we need to see the conclusion, the real conclusion. Like right there, to finish the movie with that, with Tom saying all of these names, it's great because it's an emotional conclusion, it's a great moment, it's a great scene. They're all together doing that, and people are cheering, and the judge, no one is obeying to him anymore, not even Schultz, and you know, it's a good conclusion for the movie, you can say it like that. But if it's a good conclusion for a movie, I'm not sure that it's a good conclusion for a movie about that story. I'm not sure that I'm clear with that. Like, if it would be a movie like a regular one, which is not based on real facts, it would be an amazing movie, and it would be enough, and it would be well done from beginning to the end, and it's okay to finish it like that. But because of the fact that it's based on a real story, I'm expecting more about the story, images from the riots, more of them. I'm expecting the real end and not a chosen end, you know. I'm expecting a real conclusion for that. Yes, it's disturbing me, because in fact, in my opinion, it's a really good movie, but I'm not sure if it's a good movie to tell that story. Do you understand what I mean? The movie on itself, if I'm taking it as an object, if I'm taking it as really just what it is, it's well done, it's well written, it's well built, the casting is perfect for all of these roles, the conclusion is okay, like we have moving moments, we have some moments of stress, I had some moments where I was really angry and all, but if I'm imagining that this is a movie about a real thing, you know, which really happened, people who suffered, people who lived a lot of things, I'm not so sure about how it's built and how it's ending. For the rest, I don't have anything to say about how it's filmed, about the casting, about the pictures and all. It's really well done. But because of the fact that it's a real deal that we are talking about, I'm questioning myself about how it's built and how it's ending. But it's great, it's really great. The casting is really great, I think. And it's cool also, you know, to have this trial and all of them talking together about their intentions, about what they think of it. Like, it's really cool to have that aspect. Because, okay, they made that movie only for the trial, but at least we are not only in the court, we have also all of these moments with all of them talking together. And yes, the casting is really perfect. I think that the casting is making half of the job, in fact, for this movie. That and how it's written. We have some good pictures, they are not amazing. You know how much I love to analyze how shows are filmed, if we have good lights, if we have a good composition, you know, for the pictures and stuff like that. I didn't see any during this movie which were really impressive, you know, like I blocked on it. I didn't have any moment like that, but there were good pictures. I spent a good time watching it and I learned a lot of stuff, again, from France, so I didn't know that story, I didn't know anything about that trial. At the beginning I had some issues with that because it was a lot of names and a lot of context, you know, a lot of political context and stuff that I didn't know about, so that's why I was really focused. I'm sorry if I didn't react a lot during some of these moments because I was trying really my best to understand everything, like always. You know how I am, you know that I love to understand stuff, to really put everything at the right place and all of that. So that's why I was so focused and maybe a little silent. Again, I'm sorry if it's the case. But I'm wondering, you know, about if I would have had the things, you know, that I miss right now. Yes, I think that for me it could have been even better. To just put some more moments into the riot, it would have explained better all of them, their positions during that riot. But we don't know, in fact, what really happened. You can say that it's a vision of the filmmaker and the writers because, again, they are making that about a trial, so we are like the jury, we don't know what really happened and we have just to listen to them, to what they are saying and to believe or not what they are saying, to try to understand the case by ourselves with these testimonies. Like, you can tell me that, but at the end it's not right because we as the viewers, we are spending times with all of these people, you know, these suspects, talking about their positions, making their cases, so we are on their side. It was good. It was not amazing, but it was good. And maybe it's also that, you know, I'm so used to be amazed by Aaron Sorkin work, you know, on movies and shows, that right there, to not be amazed by it, it's surprising me. I'm like, okay, it's cool, it was great, I spent a good time, I saw a lot of good stuff and all, but the fact that I have some issues with how it was done and that I'm not amazed, impressed, maybe that's why I'm a little disturbed also. I expected more because we are talking about a real fact, and when I'm watching shows and movies like that, I'm expecting them to be amazing. They have to be amazing. If they are not amazing, it's disturbing me, because for me, when you are talking about that kind of subjects, that kind of important, grave, big subjects, you can't do anything but amazing stuff, That's my opinion. And also because it was Aaron Sorkin, so again, I was expecting something amazing. Maybe, you know, for me, when you are touching to a subject like that, a big subject like that, a trial in particular, with a lot of mistakes which were caused into it and all of the consequences that it had for all of the people involved and all. I said it during the intro, I'm someone, when I was a teenager, I made some researches about big trials like that which happened in other countries than mine, because that's a subject which is really interesting, I think, to see when justice is making mistakes and what happened after that, because for me it's just a proof that justice is made by men and that we can all make mistakes, and that also after that justice can learn from it. So that's why I love a lot that kind of story, shows and movies about that kind of story, and that for me it can't be anything but amazing. You know, you have to do an amazing job when you are treating that kind of subjects. You can't make mistakes. And you know, maybe in fact for me the perfect way to do that, the perfect way to talk about that kind of subject, it's what they did with the mini show When They See Us, which was made also by Netflix. They did an amazing job with that show, because really they talked about the facts, they talked about the trials, they talked about the consequences of it on the characters, they talked about what happened after that, how it ended for all of them. Like really they treated all of these aspects, and for me really that construction, it's how you have to build that kind of movies and shows about that kind of subject, or at least even if you're not building it like that, you know, into a chronological order, you have to have all of these steps. You can put them in the, you know, the order that you want, but at the end you have to talk about all of these aspects, and maybe that's why also I'm seeing that as an issue, the fact that they didn't do it during this movie. Because for me, again, when you are treating about that kind of subject, I want to see all of these aspects, like they did in When They See Us, and like they did also in a lot of other movies and shows which are treating about that kind of trials, that kind of subjects. It was good. Again, don't get me wrong, it was good. But you know also that I'm not a blind fan, and when even into shows that I love something is bothering me, I'm saying it. And even if I can love something, I can also say the mistakes, the issues that I have with these things, and it's just because of the fact that I want them to be perfect, you know, to be amazing, and not just great. Great, it's okay, but amazing, it's better, you know. It was cool. I spent a good moment and I learned a lot. Again, the casting is really making half of the job. When I'm finishing this movie, I'm like, if it would have been done like I like that kind of shows and movies to be done, to show really all of the aspects, it would have been even more interesting. I would have learned even more. I would have been also involved more with the characters. Maybe that's also something that I miss with this movie, the fact that I had trouble to connect really emotionally with the characters, because okay, at the beginning we are seeing from where they are coming from, but in fact during the trial, during all of the movie, we are not really with them, you know, to understand their feelings, to see their families, you know, their loved ones. They are sharing ideas and they have some conflicts about the facts, what they should say or not, but they are not sharing really emotions, feelings, a little at the end, but at the beginning not that much, and that's why like I didn't connect with them. And again, I think that with a movie in which you are showing really all of the aspects, like I just told before, you can connect more with the characters, because really you can see all of the impacts that that kind of trials can have on them. Okay, so it's all for me and for you for today. Again, remember that if you are watching this on YouTube, it means that on Patreon they already have my reaction video to the next movie that you're gonna have in 1 month. And they chose it, and they have all of these reaction videos about movies with an extended reaction part. Again, if you can be interested by that. Okay, so it's all for me and for you for today. So it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Great.